Welcome to CHNN, your monthly source for collision repair news, events, and the information you need to keep your business moving ahead. In this month's edition, major paint brand loses case for fraud and concealment. Collision Advice releases a new survey. S CRS weighs in on shop classification. Learn how to match OEM seam sealer, and estimating tips for quarter panel replacement. So let's get started.
This is CHNN.
Every body shop has a bit of rivalry between its painters and body men. It's only natural, but they agree on one thing. With Cuba Tron 2 abrasive discs, wheels, and belts, cars are prepped faster and come out looking better. It might even lead to a new appreciation for each other.
Collision Advice and Crash Network have released the first quarterly Who Pays for What survey for 2016. Each of the 4 surveys will cover different areas of shop operations, and the first survey will focus on more than 24 not included refinish-related operations. Centering on the 8 largest auto insurers in the nation, the questions examine how often shops bill and are paid for each of the operations they perform. Included on the list of operations are feather prime and block, deneb, masking, and finish sand and buff, among other commonly performed refinish tasks. Mike Anderson of Collision Advice said taking the survey can help remind shops about operations they may be performing but not including on estimates, which can ultimately make a big difference in their business. At the conclusion of the study, participants in the survey will receive a 60-page report with complete survey findings, analysis, and resources. Recently, the Collision Industry Conference deemed their 2013 definitions of a highly qualified shop as confusing and wholly inadequate, and has attempted to raise the bar with new criteria in 2016. The new definitions would divide Class A shops into 3 new tiers: non-structural cosmetic, structural, and structural advanced. Joining us today to discuss why CIC is considering making these changes and how they could impact repair shops is Aaron Schulenberg, Executive Director of S CRS, which is the largest national trade association solely representing collision repair facilities across North America. Aaron, we're so happy to have you.
Thanks, Mindy. Glad to be here, and thank you for addressing such an important topic on your show.
What are some of the downfalls of this proposed new classification system?
Yeah, I think some of the downfalls, Mindy, are really that you have programs that exist out there that are enforceable and are very specific as far as what separates one shop from another in terms of education, equipment, capability, and skill set. These are much more general, and while they reference back to those programs, they don't have the same enforceability, and so therefore they just don't serve the same purpose.
And how does this reclassification system benefit the consumer?
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it is made for the consumer. However, I do think that the impact it will have on the consumer is some potential confusion. There are very specific requirements to work on a number of vehicles that exist today from a technology, equipment, and training standpoint. And for a shop to say, I'm Class A, however, it's not really enforceable or isn't necessarily recognized in comparison to a shop that says, I'm certified for this make and this model. I think that there becomes the ability for somebody to say, well, how is Class A different from your certification? And so what we really want to do is help guide the consumer very specifically so that they understand the differences between shops who have attained certain levels of training, equipment, and recognition in shops who have.
So does this classification system need to be scrapped entirely in favor of a new classification system?
I don't know that the classification system needs to be scrapped entirely, or even that one exists today. I think that you have automakers who are defining the capabilities that are necessary to fix their vehicles. You have certification programs that are doing the same and helping shops differentiate themselves from others out there. And ultimately, I think that the conversation at the CIC level has been important up until this point, but it's kind of reached its max, and therefore the conversation really, I think, becomes unnecessary because you have a marketplace that's responding to the need.
And what would SCRS's solution be?
I think our solution to the classification issue would be to work with shops to understand what options are available to them today that are enforceable and that can designate the differences that they have from the majority in training, equipment, capability, and skill set, and find more and more repair facilities who are willing to go up to that level to produce proper repairs as documented by the people who created the vehicle.
Thank you so much, Erin, for your input and your time today. CIC will vote during the April meeting in Seattle to determine if the committee should discontinue classification definitions. For more information, visit the CIC website. On February 3rd, Toyota announced that it would discontinue the Scion brand by August, with selected models to be rebranded as Toyota vehicles for the 2017 model year. The quirky sports compact vehicles were launched in 2002 at the New York Auto Show. Despite having new products, unique features, and early success, the Scion brand could not keep up with the ever-changing youthful buyers. The brand saw a decrease of 67% in models sold between 2006 and 2015. The CHR will still launch as planned, but under the Toyota brand. Last month, many were surprised to learn 2015 car sales had surpassed a peak last reached before the Great Recession, just 6 short years ago. In all, 17.5 million cars and trucks were sold in the U.S. for a total of $570 billion in sales, a 5.7% increase. And even better news for collision repairers was that the average purchase price reached $34,428, also an increase from the year before. The auto industry appears to be expertly navigating consumer demands and placing more cars on the road. And as gas hovers at around $2 a gallon, more miles driven could lead to more cars in your shop for 2016.
Introducing Vision 2, part of the Vision system by Carliner, and its state-of-the-art measuring software that guides the entire repair process from start to finish. Its automatic centering and measuring features are so easy to use. Technicians can now measure damaged vehicles up to 20% faster than using previous versions of Vision software. The brand new Vision 2 interface with user-friendly graphics is available in the palm of your hand on your smartphone or tablet with hand-eye integration. The photo-based Vision 2 is integrated with Caro Data, the world's largest vehicle database, making it easy to find all the vehicle information you need. With over 15,000 measured vehicles, it's even easier to find correct measuring points. The Carliner Vision 2, faster than ever before.
Ensuring estimate accuracy is a key initiative for all parties in the industry. Learn more with our estimating tips.
They say it's the little things that add up, and that statement has probably never been truer than in estimating. In our job, those little things are called not included operations, and not including them on your estimates can mean hundreds or even thousands of lost dollars every day. Understanding some of the not included operations in common estimating scenarios can grow your business. Well, for example, replacing a quarter panel. Walk into almost any shop across the country right now, and you'll find at least one quarter panel replacement in process. For many estimators, once they select the part in the estimating system, they move on to the next item, making assumptions of included operations based only on head notes or footnotes. But when replacing a quarter, a majority of your not included operations are going to be found in the Guide to Estimating or P pages for your estimating system of choice. A few common items listed in all 3 estimating systems are preparation of the attachment panels, sleeve creation, and final finish of the weld zone affected areas. So let's break that down. Preparation of the attachment panels with today's vehicle construction can have a technician preparing anywhere from 18 to 26 panels so that we can attach the replacement quarter panel. For example, you've got your taillight pocket, your rear body, your floor panel, your inner rocker, your inner wheelhouse. The list can go on, and that operation is not included in the listed replacement time. Since there's not a predetermined time for this operation, as an estimator, you'll need to meet with your technician and possibly an insurance representative to assign a time to that operation. One other common item left off the estimate is the additional time required for the technician to finish the weld area and the weld zone adjacent damage that might have occurred in the process. This is commonly referred to as feather, prime, and block. Current labor times include the replacement of the panel and finish of the weld only up to 150 grit. The gap between the 150 grit, adjacent panel heat damage, and the beginning of the refinish process per your estimating system will need to be addressed with your technician. Again, this is an operation with no predetermined time, as there are a few factors that can influence what you need. Keep in mind that this is not just to finish the weld joint, but to correct any damage to the adjacent panels. This may mean weld deformity or heat damage to the front and/or back of the panels. You'll want to meet with the body and paint technicians to discuss the operations needed to prepare the vehicle for the paint department and the time that will be required. While we're at it, don't forget the additional corrosion protection applications and the materials that are involved in replacing any welded panel. Having all the necessary procedures on your estimate are not just for ensuring proper compensation for the technicians or the repairer. It's about ensuring all the proper procedures are performed on the vehicle and documented for all parties: the insurer, the shop, and most importantly, the consumer. Want more tips for estimating, or got a question about something you see or don't see in your estimating database? Well, you can always reach me here at Collision Hub, or visit the Database Enhancement Gateway, where you can search their how-to videos, tips, and their database of previous inquiries and resolutions for each of the estimating systems. Join us again on CHNN as we cover more estimating tips.
A true mobile estimating solution is here. AutoExplore's mobile estimating can help you dramatically improve your estimating process. It is device independent and goes where you go. Whether you have an iPhone, iPad, Android tablet, or Windows Surface, you can start your estimate anywhere you have connectivity. It includes the great features of Autotext estimating, such as AutoVin and color-coded intelligent 3D graphics, allowing any appraiser to easily capture the VIN, vehicle options, photos, and vehicle damage in order to create the most accurate estimate and impress your prospective customer. Whether you're moving around your shop or working remotely, let mobile estimating from AutoExplore help you be more efficient, accurate, and ultimately get more keys.
In what could be a precedent-setting case, a California judge has ruled that Sherwin-Williams committed fraud and concealment, intentional misrepresentation, and negligent misrepresentation. JB Collision Services in San Diego, owned by John Tiska, was initially sued by Sherwin-Williams for breach of contract, but lost when Tiska successfully countersued. Tiska claimed Sherwin-Williams was aware of defects in its product line, but concealed the extent of the problem. In total, Tiska and his shops were awarded $3.23 million, but the legal battle isn't over for this California shop owner. Collision Hub News Network will continue to follow the story next month as more developments are expected. First conceived in 2011, a bipartisan bill called the Promoting Automotive Repair Trade and Sales Act, or PARTS Act, has once again found its way into the political discussion. This bill, touted to benefit consumers, businesses, and the U.S. economy, is aimed at reducing consumer costs and diversifying competition. The PARTS Act would reduce the number of years car companies can enforce design patents from 14 years down to 2.5 years. The proposed law would only apply to design patents and not utility patents, meaning it would only impact those aesthetically different. The bill was first introduced as House Bill 3889 in 2012 and reintroduced last February as House Resolution 1057 and Companion Bill S 560. It is now in formal hearings. Supporters of the bill claim consumers would benefit with increased competition in parts replacement, potentially saving consumers up to $1.5 billion annually in repair costs. All this without sacrificing aesthetics or quality, according to the Quality Parts Coalition. Availability of aftermarket parts would ensure high-quality repairs and foster consumer choice. Opponents of the bill say it creates an unfair exemption to the established patent law, which would come at the expense of the industry. They also fear there may be safety implications if generic parts are lower quality than their brand name equivalents. On February 3rd, a House subcommittee on courts, intellectual property, and the Internet held a legislative hearing to examine the PARTS Act. 4 witnesses were in attendance. Jack Gillis, Director of Public Affairs for the Consumer Federation of America and Executive Director of CAPA, spoke in favor of the PARTS Act, citing a need for competition and cost saving in the industry. Second to speak was patent attorney Kelly Barres, who expressed concerns she had with the implications this bill would have on U.S. jobs, consumer safety, and design patents outside of the auto industry. Pat Felder, owner of Felder's Collision Parts, asserted that aftermarket parts sold at her business over the past 30 years have been not only of the highest quality, but more affordable, creating diversity in the marketplace. Last to speak was Dan Risley, president of the Automotive Service Association, who spoke against the bill, citing safety concerns. He argued that passing this bill could result in unsafe and lower quality repairs. For more information on the hearing and to watch the complete testimony, visit Repair Driven News. For the second year in a row, automakers have recalled a record number of vehicles in the U.S. Barely into 2016, Ford disclosed that they would be recalling nearly 400,000 Ranger pickup trucks. The announcement came just days after the government reported that a South Carolina man was killed when an airbag inflator exploded in December. The government says automakers will recall another 5 million vehicles equipped with faulty inflators made by Takata Corporation of Japan. Other automakers are expected to announce more recalls soon as the Takata inflator mess continues to grow. It now covers 14 auto and truck makers and totals about 24 million vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the number of recalls is likely to expand further in 2016. Are Sublet repairs causing your shop quality and cycle time issues? For more on Sublet repairs, here's Jake Rodenroth, Director of Client Services for Collision Diagnostic Services.
Repairing collision damaged vehicles requires a complete focus. As collision repair professionals, we seem to think that just because we fix cars all the time that we can manage our shop's production operations by simply reacting to first impressions. Many shop owners and managers prefer to manage by tribal knowledge rather than implementing a planned and controlled production environment. However, your competitors are implementing a controlled production process, which all begin with a 100% blueprint of a customer's vehicle before it goes into production. It's easy for us to assume that there is or isn't hidden damage because we do this every day, right? We know what we are seeing on that vehicle. Unfortunately, these assumptions can cost valuable cycle time and can end up with a customer delivery delay. As we know from industry surveys, the #1 item that will affect your CSI rating is not delivering a vehicle on time. From the second a vehicle comes into your shop, you need to think about one thing: beginning the repair process based on facts and not assumptions. Collision repair has 3 main variables or unknowns: frame damage, suspension damage, and diagnostic or electronic issues. All 3 must be measured to ensure they are inspected. The sooner these variables are removed from the repair process, the more successful a shop will be. Once you have all the facts about the vehicle, including the damaged parts in your hands, it's time to schedule that vehicle for repairs. Basing repair plans on facts allows shops to apply the proper resources at the correct time to complete the repair. This includes identifying the need to sublet any repairs. Not all shops have the required tools to perform every repair needed on every vehicle. By conducting a fact-based analysis up front, it will determine what truly needs to be done in-house and what, if anything, needs to be sublet. It's easy enough to have delays within a controlled shop environment, but the second the vehicle leaves your shop to be repaired by someone else, you no longer have the ability to protect your promise, the delivery date. Being proactive with repair planning, vehicle scans, vehicle measurements, and repair documentation reduces the need to sublet a vehicle simply because of a feeling that it may be too complicated for your team. Moving from a reactive production environment to a proactive lean process environment doesn't happen overnight or by accident. In our industry, we meet our customers by accident, but you can't effectively run your business that way. Reducing production delays, identifying all damage, gathering available repair documentation, and performing all repairs in-house will provide immediate rewards for your facility and your sanity, with a happier staff, satisfied customers, and informed business partners. It also means that you can sleep better at night. Stay tuned next month for more information on vehicle control systems.
You can take on any project when you have a little creativity and the versatility of the 3M AccuSpray spray gun system with PPS. The molded one-piece composite gun body is lightweight yet durable and makes spray gun maintenance kits obsolete. And you can spray in every direction. The 3M paint preparation system is your all-in-one disposable solution for mixing, measuring, and filtering. Then when your project is done, properly dispose of the lid, liner, and storage plug. Never clean a cup again. Transparent atomizing heads are new head, new liner. The performance of a new spray gun system for a fraction of the price. AccuSpray, the all-in-one spray gun solution. Visit our website for more information, how-to videos, and a quick start guide.
House of Color celebrates 60 years of stunning color with a fully overhauled website designed with you in mind. HouseofColor.com offers a user-friendly experience with improved navigation, detailed product information, videos, and access to our social media accounts on one page. We invite you to browse the custom color options, enabling you to find the perfect match for your project in almost every gloss, sparkle, or head-turning hue imaginable. See what's new at houseofcolor.com today.
As cars continue to evolve, so have the materials and applications. Some of these can be hard for collision repair technicians to duplicate in the repair process. Sean Collins, 3M Technical Service Engineer, has some tips for matching OEM seam sealer.
Hi, this is Sean Collins, 3M Technical Service Engineer. Today I'm here to talk to you about a product you may be familiar with that we've had on the market for some time. This is our plastic repair cosmetic material that's flexible. This also is now being recommended as a seam sealer. The flow characteristics of this make it a great seam sealer to match perfect looking OEM seams, and it can also be used as a roof ditch seam sealer. This needs to be applied over a 2K primer. I'm going to load some of this into a gun, and using our DMS gun, I'll apply some of this to a roof ditch just to show you how this looks. First, I'm going to equalize the cartridge, so I'm going to make sure I have product coming out of both sides. Then I can attach the dynamic mixing system nozzle. Once I have the nozzle, I just want to dispense a little bit of product to make sure I have adequate mix. Now I'm ready to apply to the vehicle. You could do this in two ways. You could either apply this directly to the roof ditch without doing any masking, but for a little more control, you can actually mask the sides of the roof ditch, then apply the seam sealer, tool it, and pull your masking tape. So I'll demonstrate how we do that. As you can see through this dynamic mixing system, we can easily apply this heavy material in short order. If you choose to mask, you can then tool it with a spreader that you cut to fit in this ditch and just float over the top of it. Now it's going to continue to reflow. Even after I pull the tape, and I want to pull my tape over the seam sealer so that anything falls back into the seam sealer, which will continue to melt in and flow. And this is what the finished product ends up looking like. So again, two different ways, with masking, without masking, applied over a 2K seam sealer, matches that OEM appearance exactly. For more tips like this, see 3mcollision.com.
Thanks, Sean. Does it really matter which material or product you use for paint gun cleaning? Chris Springer and Tony Larimer from Dan Am Company explain why cutting corners on cleaning could be costing you more than you think.
As Tony and I travel around to visiting different body shops, we see a wide variety of methods for gun cleaning and maintenance. After the install is done or you've used that product for a while, you start looking for a shortcut or an alternative, cheaper method to clean your gun. People start using cheaper acetones and isopropyl alcohols and even get into carburetor cleaners. The issue with these chemicals is their purity level. The parts per million of contaminants that's found in paint manufacturers' cleanup thinner is far lower than products like these that you see here on the table. Whether you're the owner or a painter in a shop, one of the keys to your profitability is maintaining your equipment and its efficiency in the booth so that you can ensure your cycle time and throughput of customers' vehicles being repaired. The outcome of an impure cleanup solvent or something that has this nice color would be that the insides of this gun does have seals, and these seals are like a neoprene style plastic, if you will, that can absorb these solvents and swell, actually take contamination out of the solvents and leave that trapped inside the gun, and that can start impacting the outcome of your paint jobs. As a painter, this is the key to your success. Why would you want to take a cheaper alternative route of maintenance and cleaning to the one thing that can cause you a redo or longer cycle time in the booth? The chemicals that the paint companies have put into your shops are made up of chemicals that are designed to clean the products out of your spray gun. You may have to have a gun cleaner for your primers, your sealers, your clear coats, and a separate gun cleaner for your waterborne products or your low VOC products. So with cleaning guns, it's not only the liquid that you're using to get the paint residue out of your gun. The implements and brushes that you use are also important at maintaining that shop owner and painter's profitability. Tony will explain a little bit more about some of the brush varieties and ways of cleaning a gun.
Well, on the spray guns, there's several small holes, obviously in the air cap, going through the fluid tip, which go directly into the spray gun body. People that are using the wrong utensils for cleaning, such as torch tip cleaners or wire brushes, can not only cause surface harm, but if you're using a wire brush to clean your spray gun or a scuff pad to clean your spray gun, you start putting scratches in things, and when you start putting scratches in things, it goes through the coating, which when we use water in particular, it can cause corrosion. When we start using brushes that are metal to go inside these holes of an air cap, it can cause deep scratches where paint, debris, things can collect and make it hard to clean out. It also changes a very tight tolerance of down to as low as 1 micron for these holes as the air cap holes surround that fluid tip. And if you start changing those, it changes the way those spray guns paint. Brushes that come with the manufacturer of the gun, such as these plastic brush ends, work great. Little dual-ended brushes that are used to go into the horns, into the air cap. Little tiny brooches that are used to remove debris from tiny holes in an air cap. And the difference in this, in comparison to some that you might see in just a generic tool set, this isn't a long, flat, or long, round, tapered punch. Many people have those, and unfortunately they start sticking those through those holes and they push them in until they hit the spot where it got wider, and it keeps widening the holes in their air cap. Pretty soon they're completely out of tolerance and they don't work the same anymore, and your pattern suffers. Obviously that costs money because you're not going to get the same paint control, the same fan control, and you're going to have to repaint items. So all of those things, plus just little things like using a plastic brush along with plastic bristles to clean the outside so it doesn't scratch. Many states don't allow wooden brushes because they can absorb VOC. So a lot of those things are necessary. But as a shop owner or a shop painter, I want to make sure I'm cleaning my guns using the proper tools, getting these things clean, putting them away at the end of the day clean and dry so that the next day when it's time to paint, I'm ready to paint. It's something that can definitely make a big difference in the longevity of the equipment and the control of your color, control of your clear coat, and definitely make a difference in the profitability in a shop.
You know, with today's cup systems that most people have switched to, you're really cleaning an inch to an inch and a half of a fluid passage of a gun. The last thing that we want you to do is fill up all of the air passages with a fluid or something like this that can leave a residue behind that could end up causing dirt in your paint or a fisheye, or like Tony explained, changing the shape of that pattern where now color match and metallic orientation is impacted.
As we've talked about, using proper materials, whether it's the cleaning solutions that you're using or the tools and the brushes that you use to clean your spray equipment, you can have a definite impact on your profitability in a shop. Whether you're the shop owner or you're the painter in the shop, we all want to make money. By using the correct equipment, the correct thinners, you can guarantee success, and you can definitely see a negative impact if you choose to take a shortcut. Do it the right way, make profitable business, and be efficient at what you do.
Absolutely, and be sure to join us next month where we'll talk about more profitability issues and tricks and tips.
Introducing the SADA Clean RCS Micro, an all-in-one rapid spray gun cleaning system, providing quick between-job cleaning. Perfect for both waterborne and solvent-based paint systems. The small wall-mounted Clean RCS Micro is only 9 inches wide and can be mounted right in the mixing room, increasing productivity and profitability. The Clean RCS Micro quickly and thoroughly cleans your spray gun, even with tough color changes like red to white. Optimize your shop's time and money with the high cleaning efficiency of the SADA Clean RCS Micro.
And that's all for this episode of CHNN. We hope you'll make CHNN your new home for the collision repair news and information you need. Want more in-depth coverage of the stories you heard today? Please visit Repair Driven News, your daily source for information and editorial features for collision repair. And make sure you don't miss a single episode in 2016 by subscribing to our YouTube channel below. We'll see you next month.
This program is brought to you through the support of these sponsors.
This is CHNN.